Okay, I've had my first taker of one of these monitoring kits from a local business owner. So after I've had my coffee, we're going to take a little drive and drop it off. I'm really pleased this person has decided to be part of this campaign. And who is this person? Thank you, Paul, for being part of this campaign.
Well, thank you, Gordon. This is extremely generous of you.
And I know you've got a very, very interesting story of your own to tell.
Well, it is an interesting story. It's also something of a warning. I hope it's interesting. It's something of a warning to all entrepreneurs out there, because very often we think we're invincible. And I had a rude awakening when back in 2006, 2007. I'd been working very, very hard, as so many of us do, overworking for a long, long time. And if it wasn't for the fact that I had a routine insurance renewal, which meant that I had to have a medical, I wouldn't be here today. Paul Tansey would be in a cemetery somewhere. And that is a little shocking. But the reason for that is that blood pressure is one of those things that sneaks up on you and gives you no symptoms and no warning. And what happened was a nurse came to my house and took my blood pressure, just as my wife had gone off to make her and I a cup of tea. And she took my blood pressure and then put the machine back in her bag. And I did wonder about that at the time. Then she took out another machine and took my blood pressure again. And my wife walked back in with the cups of tea that she'd just been off to make. Just as the nurse asked me what I was doing that afternoon, I told her I was very busy. And she said, no, not anymore. She said, you're cancelling everything and you're going directly to hospital. And I was gobsmacked. My wife was probably a little less gobsmacked. She'd been warning me about my working habits for some time. You know, it wasn't unusual for me to work all through the night and see the sun come up on occasion. That's how silly and out of perspective my work-life balance was at the time. And so I said to the nurse, and I'm very busy. And she said, honestly, you've got to go to hospital immediately. And she said, I've never seen results like this in a man of your age. And this is really, really serious. And naturally, I was watching my wife's eyes fill up, and she was welling up at the time, and that was an emotional moment. But I went to hospital, and I got the same thing. They took my blood pressure, they put the machine away, and they got another machine out. And then the guy said that I was in a terrible state, and that he'd rather roll the dice every day than have my chance of a heart attack or a stroke. Which, you know, when a doctor says that to you, that's kind of gobsmacking. So I instantly was on tablets from that day forward. I needed to do a radical lifestyle change and get my work-life balance, well, have a work-life balance. I limited myself at that stage to maximum of 12 hours a day. My wife swiftly modified that to 10 hours a day. And then what happened was that we started to get up and run on the beach 3 times a week. My diet changed. I became a vegetarian or pescatarian. I cut back the sugar in my teas and coffees. I was having 15 cups of coffee a day, and 1 teaspoon of sugar in each. So you can imagine how much sugar I was consuming every day. I put on weight. I was smoking. I cut smoking out, and drinking. I binge drink once a week just to let the pressure go. And so I now maybe have 2 pints a month, maybe probably half that, and I feel much better for it. I'm exercising 4 or 5 times a week now, but that just, all of this goes to show that we all think we're invincible. I thought I was invincible, and I still in my head I was an athlete from my youth, and the reality of that was nothing like it. I was in big, big trouble. I didn't know, and I would say to any entrepreneur out there, you're not invincible. I'm not, and neither are you. And I think that what you've got to do is you've got to look after yourself better. If you're anything like me at all, if you're recognizing any of these overworking symptoms, you've got to do better. You've got to be, because actually there's no point in being the most successful corpse in the graveyard. That does your wife no good, does your kids no good. It does obviously you no good. But it's a lesson for all of us. Blood pressure will sneak up on you when you're not looking, and if you're not lucky, as I was, it'll get you.
Thank you, Paul. A true inspiration. And I'm choking up here as we speak. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome, Gordon. And thank you very much. I mean, for those who can't see, this is a blood pressure monitor and a blood oxygen monitor, which I've just been given by Gordon. So thank you very much, Gordon. That's very generous of you. My job now is to buy the same things and pass them on to another entrepreneur. And I'll be doing that. And I'll make a video too about why I think it's important. And I will go and give these things to another entrepreneur and hopefully get them to make a video too. So thank you very much.